başımayo, abunde başımayo, abunde başımayo.
And as Father mentioned, we drive to the city of Madaba. It's called Madaba, the city of Madaba, to Mount Nebo, the memorial site of Moses. And of course we will have lunch before we go. We still have quite good time. Our mass is booked like 3 o'clock. So the drive to the city of Madaba is like 45 minutes maximum, hopefully, as you see the weather. And at Mount Nebo, my friends, if you want to just put maybe another layer, if you have a jacket, believe me, you're gonna need it. The place is open, it's a high place, and could be really windy at that place. Literally, it could push you, okay? The weather is really crazy nowadays, but anyhow, so be careful in Mount Nebo, okay? I will tell you later on what we are going to do in Mount Nebo to make it easy for everybody. So I'm gonna give you all the information about Mount Nebo on the bus, the things I talk about, okay, again on the bus, and we go to whether the church or the chapel, whatever they prepared for us at Mount Nebo. First of all, my friends, again, welcome to Jordan, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Welcome to the Holy Land.
Thank you.
The Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. The name, my friends, Jordan, actually it's 2 words, Jor and Dan. Jor and Dan, and both are like 2 attributes, major attributes around this area that forms the word Jordan. Jor, again, and Dan. In Arabic, it's Banyas. It's all in Syria, modern Syria area, and the other one, Al-Dan, it's called. This is what forms the word Jordan. And in general, the word Jordan means strong, just like the Jordan River, the place where the Lord Jesus Christ was baptized. The Jordan River, my friends, starts around Tiberias, the Sea of Galilee, and I assume you are going to visit that place. A beautiful place, the Sea of Galilee, again, Tiberias. It's not a high place, like 360 meters above sea level, okay? But the Jordan River goes down, okay? The landscape, the whole thing is going down from almost like 400 above sea level, going down toward the lowest point on planet Earth, almost 430 meters below sea level. This is why the Jordan River, okay, is a strong river, So Jordan, again, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, and the Hashemite are the royal family in Jordan. The 4th generation with King Abdullah II. King Abdullah II. Jordan, my friends, was established in 1946 exactly. His name, the first king, his name was King Abdullah I. After him, he died, actually assassinated, around the Aqsa Mosque. That's the west side of the Jordan River. After 1 year, actually, his son, he's not well known. His son, his name is King Talal, ruled Jordan for less than even 1 year. After that, maybe some of you know him, the late King Hussein. He ruled Jordan for almost 46 years, till his death in 1999. After him came King Abdullah II. So the current king, King Abdullah II, again, you may know King Hussein and Queen Noor. She's also a very famous character. The current queen, her name is Queen Rania. We are blessed to have such really caring people, whether Queen Noor or Queen Rania, because of their beautiful work in the in Jordan's community and the things they established to support Jordanians, especially women in conservative communities and people with physical challenges. Anyhow, so Jordan, my friends, the population in Jordan is like 9 million. With refugees, it's over 11.3 million. I'm sure you are aware of the crisis in Syria. Nowadays, over 2 million Syrian refugees took refugee to Jordan in the last like 14 years almost now. So 2 million. Before that, the year 2003, the invasion of Iraq, almost 1.6 million Iraqis took refugee to Jordan, and that excluding, of course, the massive waves of Palestinian refugees back in the 60s and the 70s. That makes Jordan one of the biggest countries in the whole world housing refugees. I believe it's the biggest challenge that we have nowadays, the refugee issue. Especially if you know that Jordan is a limited natural resources country. Yes, we are neighbors to the richest countries on planet Earth with oil and gas, but sadly nothing in Jordan. It's all imported. So limited natural resources again, which makes the refugee crisis, I would say, in Jordan the biggest challenge that we have nowadays. Even water is an issue, my friends, in Jordan. Sadly, Jordan became like the second poorest country on planet Earth with water resources. That's in terms of the individual share of water, the annual individual share. It's like 88 meters. The international line, poverty line, is like 1,000. You see where we are? It's 88 meters. Sadly, again, water is one of the biggest, actually, issues that we have in Jordan. So, the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, my friends, the Holy Land. The Holy Land. And allow me to explain something for you, my friends. The Holy Land, when you use this term, according to the Bible, of course, the Exodus, Deuteronomy, Numbers, when you say the Holy Land, definitely it's much bigger than Jerusalem and what's around Jerusalem, the city of Jerusalem. When you say the Holy Land, again, according to the Bible, especially Deuteronomy and Numbers, you refer to almost 5 different countries in the modern thing that we have. Yeah, as you, and I think everybody's familiar with Moses' story. Like again, 5 countries, starting with Egypt, Syria, Jordan, Palestine, even parts of Iraq. The whole salvation story, actually, my friends, starts on the eastern side of the Jordan River. So this is how the people back in the ancient times used to ID the land. Whether you are on the eastern side of the Jordan River or the western side, and you are on the eastern side of the Jordan River, that's modern Jordan. Modern Jordan. So the Holy Land again is much bigger than Jerusalem and what's around Jerusalem. And when you say the promised land, you mean practically what Moses saw at the top of the Pisgah mountain mentioned in the Bible, Mount Nebo, the place you are going to visit, my friends. It's the western side of the Jordan River. So the promised land is a piece of the Holy Land. It's not backwards. Okay, so just keep that in your mind, and I believe it can help, you know, for better understanding of the salvation story that actually again starts on the eastern side of the Jordan River. That's modern Jordan. You know, when Moses came to this land after he crossed the river, the Red Sea and all that story, the most probable thing that he landed somewhere around the modern city of Aqaba. That's the Red Sea again, the Gulf of Aqaba. Okay, the place is even ruins dated back to like 4000 BC, found in the city of Aqaba. They landed somewhere around that place. Logically, it should be like that, because Moses, according to the book of Deuteronomy, after the story with the army, after crossing the Red Sea, he marched toward one of the 3 kingdoms mentioned in the Bible at the time, and it was called Edom. that's modern Petra, South Jordan. So 3 kingdoms were mentioned at the time. 3 kingdoms: Ammon, Moab, and Edom. Actually, there were 4, and the 4th one is located in between, actually, Ammon and Moab. So 3 kingdoms mentioned at the time of Moses and the Israelites: Ammon, Moab, and Edom. And the 3 kingdoms are located again east of the Jordan River, that's modern Jordan. So Moses sent messengers to the Edomites, asking them to pass their kingdom. He was refused, according to the book of Deuteronomy, and in general it was not supposed to be easy for Moses like that. So he was refused. He goes to circle all around the desert to the final destination for Moses, which is the Pisgah mountain, where God showed him the promised land. So both, actually, the Israelites, at least the old generation that went out with Moses from Egypt, okay, and Moses himself, the end of their journey was Mount Nebo. Mount Nebo. So Moses, again, around Mount Nebo, Moab, ancient Moab, is the modern city of Madaba, the city you are going to see on the way to Mount Nebo. Mount Nebo, the beautiful church you are going to see, rebuilt actually a couple of years ago, 7 years ago, and they have done a beautiful job rebuilding the church. The mosaics you are going to see in the church are the highlight in Mount Nebo. Beautiful masterpieces of mosaics. Some of them is hanged all the way around the church, and some of them is on the floor. Okay, everything you are going to see in Mount Nebo is like original, the mosaics. The foundation of that church is the original, so the whole thing was built at the top of the Byzantine church, dated back to like 600 AD. 600 AD. So the Byzantine church, the foundation, the mosaics, everything, and the modern thing you are going to see, and in general they made a beautiful church using the limestone and all the woodwork you are going to see from inside. It's a beautiful church. So Mount Nebo, the city of Madaba. Mount Nebo, my friends, again, Moab, one of the 3 kingdoms at the time of Moses and the Israelites. Mount Nebo is part of what's called in the Bible the Abarim, and the language is Hebrew now. Abarim mountains. In Arabic it's Ubur, in English it's crossing mountains. The crossing mountains. So one of the summits is called Pisgah, the one that Moses climbed to see the promised land. In general, the whole thing, the mountains you are going to see again, is called the Abarim mountains, where the Israelites crossed from the east to the west. From the east to the west. So, a lot of events recorded at the time of the journey, starting maybe with being refused in the Edomite kingdom. So this is practically when the whole thing started. They had to go to the desert, and everything happened with them on the way to Mount Nebo. So as I mentioned, my friends, Mount Nebo was like the end of Moses, the final destination for Moses. Imagine after everything he did, the poor guy, he just saw the promised land, he was never given the permission to pass. He only saw the promised land, died and was buried in Moab, and nobody knows where he was buried. So the place again is the memorial site of Moses, definitely not the burial site of Moses. When you go to the church, there are like 5 5, 6 graves in the ground, okay, covered with like glass, okay, and definitely none of them belongs to Moses. We know from the Bible that angels buried Moses around Mount Nebo, okay? Angels buried Moses at Mount Nebo, and nobody knows. Actually, it was meant to be like that. Nobody knows where Moses was buried. This is why it's the memorial site of Moses. And back in the year 2000, when the Pope John Paul II visited Jordan, 5 Christian pilgrim stations were declared, and one of them is Mount Nebo as the official place, the memorial site of Moses. So the place was known for, I would say, thousands of years. The place, the Pisgah mountain, again, the Pisgah is the summit, the very summit of that mountain, and the mountain is called Mount Nebo. Mount Nebo. Mount Nebo, my friends, the church, actually not just in Jordan, in the whole Holy Land. The early fathers of the church built churches all over the Holy Land again, starting from Egypt all the way north. That's modern Lebanon. Modern Lebanon. That's a massive, that's a big distance, okay? So they built churches all over the Holy Land. Sometimes, literally you see churches built in the middle of nowhere. And you would say to yourself, why? Why here? There's nothing, not even wildlife. Nothing green. It's just desert. But it's not like that. There's a purpose, of course. The early fathers of the church built churches. The church itself was like a landmark. Wherever you see a church, especially dated back to 500, 600, that's a landmark. So definitely the location, the area, geography is related with the Bible. Is again related with the Bible. So wherever there is something happened in here, recorded whether in the Old Testament or the New Testament, okay, they go to build a church simply to preserve the Christian heritage. Nothing lasted except the churches that, again, the early fathers of the church built back at the time. This is why, especially around this part of the Holy Land, in the city of Madaba alone, over 23 churches were excavated. So definitely Madaba, my friends, was like a flourished Christian city for a while. And over again, 23 churches were built. Masterpieces of mosaics were found. The mosaics, my friends, is definitely not like a decorative thing or something like that. No, they actually performed their lives in everything they had. Even like jobs, the animals that lived at that time, the kind of crops, agriculture they had. The Greek writing you see in the mosaics gives like beautiful information when the church was built, the bishop name, the priest, even the people who gave donations sometimes to build that church. So literally the mosaics, my friends, is like reading a history book, okay? So in most of the churches found in Madaba, and one of them again is Mount Nebo, beautiful mosaics were found, masterpieces. Basically, actually, my friends, because of the big number of mosaics, the city of Madaba, the city, if you look to the right side or straight like this way, and the city of Madaba actually is the city of mosaics, and one of the maybe one of a kind, the Mosaic Academy in the city of Madaba, and most of the mosaics actually in Jordan comes from this city. The academy was established at the time of Queen Noor, part of what's called the Queen Noor Foundation, caring again for more for people with physical challenges and women in conservative communities. So this thing created thousands of jobs for Jordanians literally all over this country. So because of the big number of mosaics. Hundreds of pieces were found in the city of Madaba. They are all located in churches. The city of Madaba, my friends, a commerce center at the Roman time. There is something called, and it was mentioned in the Bible a couple of times. Actually, the first time it was mentioned was at the time of Moses and the Israelites. The King's Way. The King's Way is basically a trade route. Flows from the north to the south. North-south. And all the biblical story that you read, whether in the Old Testament or the New Testament, Jesus Christ himself visited the Decapolis cities, especially in his early days in ministry. When you read in the Bible that Jesus went to this town, that town, that's the Roman cities. This is what was available at the time. It's around the 1st century AD. So the King's Way, okay, north-south. The Greeks, the Romans, they established most of their cities, okay, around the King's Way. Why? Because simply the King's Way was one of the most important trade routes again. It was like the only land road that links Europe. Northern Jordan, my friends, is Syria. Syria, that's Turkey, Europe. And it goes down, flows to the south. Last stop before crossing again from the east to the west to the city of Jerusalem, the navel of earth actually, the last again station before the end of the pilgrimage trip. And the thing is mentioned by dozens of the Western travelers that came starting maybe around early 500 AD, 600 AD. We are in the city of Madaba, my friends, again. Back maybe to Moses a little bit. The city of Madaba, as you know the story, my friends, Moses and the Israelites, when they came to the city of Madaba, Moses never, when he asked for permission in the Edomite kingdom, he just accepted being refused. You know, that's for a reason, of course. He accepted being refused. He goes to the desert, you know, the 40 years of being lost. He came to Moab again. He never fought the Moabites also, not the Edomites, not the Ammonites. Definitely no previous knowledge, because the relation, the kingdoms mentioned at the time is related, you know, to the Bible. Let me explain the relation for you. Edomites, Edom, you remember Jacob, the one who wrestled the angel, okay? The one who fought the angel to earn the blessing. He had a twin brother, he was called Esau. And from Esau descends the Edomites. Moab and Ammon are practically the descendants of Prophet Lot. You know the story, when his daughters slept with him, the elder one gave birth to a boy called Ben Ami. In the language is Aramaic language. Aramaic, and Jesus Christ used the Aramaic language. So Ben Ami, and from him comes the Ammonites. And Moab, Ben Ami, could be translated the son of my nation. The son of my nation. Moab, two words actually. Moab, from the father. So from Ben Ami comes the Ammonites, and from Moab comes the Moabites. So definitely Moses, on previous knowledge, this is why he accepted being refused. He fought around this land. He fought the fourth kingdom mentioned in the Bible, and they were called the Amorites. The Amorites, not related they were only mentioned like a couple of times, and one of them when the king of the Amorites, of course when I say king and kingdom, my friends, just keep England out of your mind, okay? We're not talking about the modern thing that we have, in our minds now. Just because of the Bible mentions that the head of that tribe, it's a tribe, and having definitely a nomad life at that time. Okay, so not really a kingdom again. So the king Sihon, he was called. Okay, the king of the Amorites. Moses fought King Sihon, actually eliminated them, took over their land. Then comes the rest of the story. When Moses saw the promised land and he died, and after him, who led the Israelites after that? 2 names survived from the old generation. Only 2 names. Joshua is one of them. And a really big, the rain has stopped actually. So we go to Mount Nebo. On the way in, so dinner will be, lunch will be after mass, okay? It's already like 2:20, so for not being late, on the way in, I will point out some things for you. On the way to the chapel, and there are toilets available at the location, okay? Anything you want to leave on the bus, my friends, is going to be totally safe, okay? Our driver will stay, and the bus is going to be locked. Anything again you're going to leave, it's safe. We have water for you over there if you'd like to have water, okay? For everybody. I'll point you out.
Is everyone awake?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just repeat the announcement by Inan. We don't want to have to rush for mass later, no? Because I'm afraid if we rush for during lunch, some of you may choke, and then you don't arrive for mass. So what we do is we will go to the church now, Mount Nebo. We will have mass there. Have time for prayer, for some explanation, have a look around. Then only we will head to the restaurant after that for lunch. Okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah, and also because tonight dinner will be late, so if you have lunch a little bit later, I think it's good for us also. Okay? Because we also ate on the flight, So I know all of us are on diet, so we have our lunch a little bit later, okay, so when you go down, don't have to bring all your things. Just bring what you need for the mass. Okay? So bring your booklet. Remember the mass booklet? Bring the booklet, and then bring your umbrella and bring coat. Okay, that's about all you need. No need to bring money, no need to bring other things. Everything.
So now we're at Mount Nebo. Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Yes, nice weather also. And yeah. Yes. Claire, video message.
Practically you don't need it, okay? If you would like a souvenir from Mount Nebo, okay?
So got our ticket coming in now.
Just 1 second. Who didn't take the ticket?
Okay, this way, let's go. Yellow. Slow down, okay? Sorry, the left side, men and women, close. On the left side.
Come, baby, come.
Over here, my friends, if you please. Just 1 minute before we go to the church. Over here, my friends.
Sit here, sit here.
Hello, and we're at Mount Nebo, so we're in the church here. We have just finished Mass. So this is the top of the mountain where God led Moses to look at the promised land, and I will show you the video soon. It's really very cold now. I think it's below 5 degrees, between like 2 to 5 degrees, I think about that, and it's very cold. Yeah, so now you can see in the church over here, these are all the mosaics. Wow, stunning, really stunning. So, as promised, so here we are at the top at Mount Nebo. It's where the memorial of Moses, where you can see behind of me is the church. And I'm going to show you, which is over that side, apparently of what Moses saw. So there it is. So those are the ones over there. It's very cold. These hands are like getting freezing. It's really shivering. But look at it, it's so beautiful. Alright, so this is This is where not everyone is rushing for the fire.
Not for food.
Yes. Not for food, but
3 tables this side. Yeah. And the buffet 2 lines. You can make 2 lines, you can start right away. Coca-Cola.
very misty.
May seem somehow scary, but we have one of the best drivers in this company. He's been driving for like 6 months. It's over 36 years, my friends. He's one of the, honestly, one of the professional drivers. So enjoy the views. And I think that you're going to see on the right side is the view from Mount Nebo, the Jordan Valley, Jerusalem Hills, the city of Jericho, some of what Moses saw at the top of the Pisgah mountain, the promised land again, the promised land. You may feel some pressure in your ears, that's normal, again it's because of the altitude. In a couple of minutes your bodies will adapt. Enjoy the views.
You don't want to eat, just see only. Your phone can put so much memory in.
iCloud. iCloud got 2 terabytes.
Wow. That's why I see it takes so much.